What's going on, guys? Welcome to WeTradeHQ. Christian, Jake, and I just had a whole week of conferencing up here for Collision in Toronto. It's been an awesome week so far. Toronto has been an amazing town. We just want to come to you guys and just kind of talk to you about what we learned and what we decided we're going to do with the company moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great week for us. I think we learned a lot. I mean, it was our first conference, so it was definitely nerve-wracking at first. I think we were all pretty nervous, but as soon as we got up there and we just started talking with people, it was just a really cool experience, just talking about our story and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, it was interesting for me to try to figure. I mean, we had an idea of how we were gonna pitch the business, pitch the company, but it definitely got easier. We must have said it at least 100 times over the last week, just trying to figure out how it all makes sense. And I mean, I think the real challenge was just trying to make sure that we were all on the same page, that we were all saying kind of the same thing.
Same thing, yeah.
But it was. Yeah. I think we got it down towards the end of the week, really.
Yeah, every new person we said it to, we got better. It was 1%, 2%. We got better incrementally, so that was really cool.
But I guess, Christian, what would you say was the biggest takeaway that you think?
My biggest takeaway, well, what I'll say is, I think that the biggest key to our success for me was leading up to it, the preparation that we had. So when there was 2 key points leading up, we had conversations, the 3 of us, where there was a little bit of ambiguity in what the objectives were of the conference, what we were going there for, what we were trying to come out with. And we had multiple conversations, if you guys remember, about, I even said, it doesn't really feel like we're quite there yet. It feels like we kind of have different objectives. So that was one. And then what was really helpful, Jake, was when you had sent, we tightened up the elevator pitch. What's a one-liner? What's a more expanded,
that helped a lot.
Sort of, elevator pitch for our company. And then when we went to the conference, we were all kind of saying the same thing, but in our own words, which made us look really aligned.
Yeah. And we fed off of each other really well.
Yeah.
Sometimes Brad would lead, sometimes I would lead, sometimes Christian would lead, but then we'd help each other out. We'd kind of be that support system. So I think that was a really good skill we got, or we gained from this conference, was just being able to support each other and talking about our brand or just answering questions as well, because a lot of people had questions for us. And to add to that, kind of the biggest thing that I learned was just observing other businesses, or when I was talking to someone about WeTradeHQ, just observing how they reacted, and every new person I talked to was a little bit different, because everyone has a different story, a different personality, and you gotta really listen to them and answer their questions and cater towards what they want to see or hear.
Well, I think my biggest key takeaway was just to kind of piggyback off of that was the kind of realizing that, at least in that conference, how unique WeTradeHQ actually was.
Yeah,
for because sure. In the fintech space, it was just a lot of it was just all cryptocurrency related or whatever else. There really was nobody in that conference that really kind of just had everything that we had.
Yeah.
And the fact, the affirmation of just strangers from the everyday person that never traded a day in their life, all the way up to people who were part of major exchanges. Basically complimenting us on, the job that we've done so far and just the concept and how everything's running up to this point, especially since we've grown everything organically and kind of bootstrapped it all, it just made me feel really good that, as far as where the company's going and just how well we're doing.
Yeah, and it was cool to see it. Well, it was kind of surprising to see how many companies that haven't even started yet. They would have a booth, but they hadn't launched, and they were looking for funding, looking for investors, and it's okay, you don't even have a launched product. You might want to actually launch your product first, get some feedback before you do that. So it was really cool because we've only been in the game for about a year, 11 months technically, but pretty much a year, and just how much we've gotten done in that year, how far we've grown, and what we have now, and for next year, I'm even more excited. Where are we going to be next year,
Well, I think too, there's so many people out there that think that you can just flip a switch and then all of a sudden you're just a blooming and huge business.
Yeah.
And I think what the misconception is that people really try to, or like people think that just happens all the time, and that those are just the rare instances.
They only see the
finished product.
The finished product, yeah.
You know, that these huge major businesses or these huge major companies were successes overnight. But the thing is that it's just because you're just now discovering it doesn't mean that we haven't been around forever, you know. And I think that's probably one of the biggest misconceptions of you know, startups
100%.
like this.
Yeah, and
100%.
along those lines, one of the things that kept coming up was this idea of funding, and I felt like a lot of businesses, from my perspective, were, I don't want to say that there were a lot of fluff, like, I don't want it to sound negative, but out of everybody I talked to, you know, we were the ones that were already generating revenue. We already had a community. We had a model in place where I felt like we were so much farther along, but we've only been around for 11 months. And there was companies that were around for longer, but haven't made as much progress as us, or also had already brought on investors, had already given up equity, like done all that stuff. And so on one hand, it was like, we talked about that, a great opportunity for us to like kind of pause and be proud of the position to be in. But then as we went through the conference, it's like, okay, there's so much more work to do. And so it's like the public victory versus the private victory. A lot of these companies look great. They talked these big objectives and goals, but like they weren't really executing. But then when we sat down with potential investors or mentors, they appreciated what we were doing, and so for them it was a really sexy business.
Especially like when because the first investors that came up to us seemed very interested in giving us money, you know, and basically funding whatever it is that we needed funded. And for us to basically say no, I mean, first of all, it was like a big kind of like gut check a little bit, because you're like, I don't know what I'm turning down right now, but at the same time, there was I think an immense amount of respect that they gave us for us to just say, hey, listen, you know, like we got our own thing going on. We kind of just wanted to talk and maybe like get some insight, or you know, what direction we should be going and stuff like that. So that was pretty cool. But I mean, I kind of think on the flip side too, there's a lot of really good companies that
there was some cool ones
that I'm excited to even just take advantage of.
Sure.
Too, and that are along the same paths that we are on, and you know, you had those ones that were already under some pretty intense funding that I feel like probably their visions have already been lost. But there's other ones that were just like, man, like keep going with whatever it is that you're doing, because you're going to be huge. That was pretty cool too.
That's just empowering, you know, when you hear that, especially from like in real life, because obviously we do a lot of stuff on the internet, a lot of social media, you know, marketing and stuff like that. So that's great, but when you talk to someone in person and you're getting that raw emotion, it's an amazing feeling. I think this conference really opened our eyes.
And I feel like we've been so much head down and into the day to day. I mean, we've talked about like the strategic planning piece or the future, but it's been more like, you know, just working together and like the operations piece. But then when you start looking at these other companies and like the technology out there, and then your wheels start turning and you're like, my gosh, like we can leverage this in our business. And now you start thinking in different ways. And so the new ideas that come and the ways to optimize the business and make it more efficient and provide more value to the customers, like the conference provided tons of value in that regard.
And really, you know, if you guys are watching this and you're part of the WeTradeHQ community, I mean, this is all basically for you guys too. You know, we were out there just kind of hustling and figuring out, okay, what you know, new companies can we take advantage of, or maybe major existing companies. Like we talked with MailChimp and just being able to work through them, and you know, enhance the experience that you already are a part of, and like that was the exciting part too. Is like knowing and now, you know, when we come back, it's going to be back, you know, to head down, trying to like we've kind of like taken a lot of this in, and it's like, okay, when we get home, we got work to do. You know? And that's kind of like the part that's I think pretty exciting.
There needs to be a balance of like head down work, and then get your name out there and stuff like that. And this was our time for that. But
well, you know what else too? Like, this is the longest time that the three of us have actually spent together face to face.
Yeah.
And so for me too, like, it's been one thing.
It's been rough. I think
including you and me. This is the longest that the two of us even have just spent together, face to face. And so I think, there's something to be said, like, that I feel like we've gotten like a lot closer than this week.
Yeah,
just like
we needed this.
Spending so much time with each other, because even though like we're in a virtual space all the time and we're just zooming, I think it's just a different aspect. Like, we've just been able to kind of like hang out and joke around and.
Yeah, we've gotten a lot closer this week, just from like doing even activities outside of the conference.
Kick your ass in cards.
Yeah, like
working out,
playing cards, working out. Like, we've gotten a lot closer, and I think it's like helped us. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
So
that's been cool. It's been an experience.
It's been an amazing week. I definitely like want to go next year back to Collision.
Yeah.
And see where we're gonna be at. Like, it's gonna be cool. I'm so excited.
But we're playing my card games.
Okay.
Brad cheats at his card games.
Yeah, Brad cheats a lot.
I do not.
He don't let him bring his own deck. It's a little.
It's always rigged. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's always got like one card that has like a little red dot on it. He knows that's like the ace or something.
There's no marked cards.
Yeah.
Well, I will give another bonus takeaway.
Okay.
Canada has stronger beer.
Canada does have stronger beer. Yeah, that's one thing that resonates. But the biggest thing is just next time I'm bringing a raincoat for any sort of salespeople that come to pitch me that may spit on me.
Yeah.
Or
do we want to talk about that?
Christian got totally abused.
Yeah.
The first day.
This hasn't been the best experience for me.
Yeah. The first day we had our booth, Christian got abused.
Spit on
and almost
manhandled.
Yeah. By some crazy old man.
Yeah. It was rough. And only Christian. It was just like me and Brad were doing our thing, and it was just like Christian was just there and people were just attacking him.
The disrespect.
Yeah.
We should probably clarify the spitting on him.
Sure. Yeah, so we were at our booth. We were at our booth, just doing our thing. The three of us, yeah. And this guy comes up. I'm not gonna name him, but he comes up and
he's gonna know who he is.
He's like shakes all our hands. He goes, "Hey," and he was looking for a job. He had his name tag. It said for hire.
He went right in.
He went right in. He's like, "Hey, like this is what I do. This is what I can solve for your company and stuff like that." And he turns to Christian, and he has really dry lips. By the way, it's like really chappy. It was really gross.
He had no lotion on him.
No lotion. He needed some lotion on those lips. But turns to Christian. I don't know what he said, but just this big wad of spit just right on his shirt.
For the record, he actually didn't turn to me because he was facing you.
Okay.
And I was on the side. So he was like where you are, and I'm standing here.
I was about to take fire.
And normally the spit would go right to you, but it shot perpendicular. Like it went to the side.
180 degree.
He did a wanted shot where they shoot around the thing.
He had some trick.
Yeah.
Where it flew in the air, slow motion, and it landed right on.
Straight on his shirt.
I didn't look down.
The best part about this whole entire story was
Yeah.
how this guy actually handled himself.
Yeah.
Because, like, so Christian is, like, staring right at me as this guy is talking, and all of a sudden you see this huge wad of spit land on his chest, and I just get, like, this death stare, like, what the hell am I supposed to do now? And, like, the guy catches Christian staring right at me and understands what just happened and just says, hey, we're all friends here. And just keeps on going with this sales pitch.
We started dying laughing.
No, but
everybody just stopped and
Yeah, but we didn't laugh when he was still there. After he left, then we died. We were like,
no, I was laughing pretty hard.
I was serious. I was like, oh shit. Like, and
which gained him points.
Oh
for
yeah,
sure. I have
respect.
we gotta respect his hustle, man. He was going up, just saying hey. So gotta respect that.
Yeah.
I wonder how many people spit on that day though in total.
He was spitting on a lot of people.
Oh man, that was.
We can only say that his name rhymes with Jeremy.
Yeah, that's the only hint we can give you guys.
But yeah, that was pretty awesome. I mean, and really just Toronto, the city itself is pretty awesome too. I mean, we're on the 45th floor. You can't really see too well probably, but just the view from up here and the CN Tower. We're going to a Blue Jays game, and being in Jurassic Park. I mean, just everything about the city. This is our first time, Christian and I's first time
Yeah.
in Toronto, and it's been really awesome. The weather's cooperated for the most part, and
It's been great,
Been
yeah.
a really great experience, and I'm looking forward to not just coming back to Toronto, but I think we could take advantage of any other conferences that are out there. So you
Yeah.
guys are watching. You guys have suggestions that areas that you think we should visit that we could take advantage of as far as networking abilities. To help the business and help the community, help us grow. We're certainly open to those.
Yeah,
Always.
and we can come visit. I mean, that was one of the coolest parts. Hanging out with people in our community.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like,
Shout out.
Shout out to Samir.
Yeah.
He was absolutely amazing. Showed us
He's
the town.
awesome. Yeah.
Really, really cool.
And then tonight
Yep.
we're meeting up we're going
With
to the
Kabir.
Blue Jays game.
Yep.
Yep.
So it should be good.
Yeah, it's cool meeting people from the WeTradeHQ community because, it's cool meeting them in real life and just, interacting and having a good time. And
Yep.
Yep.
100%.
So, yeah.
So that's it, guys. That's our key takeaway from the conference. We're really excited in the direction that WeTradeHQ is going. Just to let you know, we're looking to really kind of for the next going into the rest of 2019, really just hammering the strategy of just reaching new people and reaching
Yep.
out to and bringing more people to WeTradeHQ.
Yep.
Have them see the value that we've been bringing to the already existing group that we have. And we couldn't thank you enough. We have so many people that's been with us since day one. It's been an absolute awesome experience, and for you guys to be so loyal to us and really support what it is that we're trying to do, we couldn't be more grateful for that as well. Do you guys have anything else you want to add?
Yeah, I'm excited for the future and just want to, tell everyone about and WeTradeHQ and change lives. So, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, echo the same sentiments. Like, appreciate the community and we want to continue to grow the community and engage you all as much as we can.
Absolutely. All right,
100%.
guys. Well, as always, I will see you all before the bell. WeTradeHQ is out.
Is out.
We got stronger beer.